Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And today we'll be checking out the Kingsong S22, a high-performance UC, now equipped with high-performance battery cells, the Samsung 40Ts, and a high-performance Michelin City Extra street tire. So, let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. First up, big thanks to you, the viewer, because I'm doing this video as we have reached 1000 likes on the ride video of the Kingsong S22. So big thanks to you. And another big thanks to eWheels for sending me the Samsung 40T packs for the Kingsong S22 so that I could review the ride characteristics and performance compared to the high capacity cells, the LGM50LTs that I had mounted before. Those high discharge cells, the Samsung 40Ts, will be the cells that are mounted on the Kingsong S22 available at eWheels. But before we get any further in the video, I have a small announcement to make. And if you want to skip this part and get right back to the review of those cells and the street tire, feel free to go to the timestamp shown on the video. So, as I'm leading this channel, there is quite a lot of work to do in order to make videos possible, but also posts and interactions on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and so on. And lately it's been really overwhelming me to grasp everything in life and to just deal with work and private life and all of those things combined. And I'm a bit scared to, to have a burnout or to just get so overwhelmed that I lose track of like doing good stuff and making just good content and just interacting with you guys, because it's not just a channel, it's it's the comments, it's tons of questions that I get every day via Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, I want to take a break for a week from social media and from all of those platforms. Maybe I'll just keep my mail handy, and of course I'll be available via phone for those who are close to me. But I just feel like I really need it before I get just too tired or too exhausted to just make my work. So I know this video has been already in the works for a long time, and also preparing videos takes a while. So I hope you guys understand. If you want to support me a bit in this, then feel free to leave a like, maybe browse through some old videos, leave a like there, because YouTube is when it comes to not uploading regular content, it just drops the views or drops the revenue very drastically. If you don't feel like it, that's also fine. We'll see each other maybe in a week, because I have to also make a video once I have the week off. So yeah, just needed to get this out there. I think that after this small break, because for as long as I've been making videos for the last 2 or 3 years, I've never really had like a full-time vacation where I just don't look at my phone, don't look at notifications at all, and don't look at all of the stuff that's happening. So I think it'll do me good, and I hope I will go back with twice, 3 times the power, and you will be enjoying the content then again. And I'll play some bass in the meantime. I bought a bass. So yeah, I'm just excited also to just take care of myself a little, maybe even go to therapy. There is no shame in that. Been on therapy before. And yeah, all right, that's it. It's been too long. Happily the video has been exciting in the background, so let's get back to the Kingsong S22. So first up, let's maybe start with the tire. And the tire that we installed here with Surge is a Michelin City Extra, and this is a 80/90/14 tubeless motorcycle tire. Now, I didn't mod the wheel to be a tubeless wheel now, it still has a tube inside, but it seems to work well with this Michelin tire. I also particularly liked how the wider rim of the Kingsong S22 plays with the tire. It really fits in very nicely, and yeah, once it sits in there, it doesn't move to the sides, there's no like oscillations. The tire fits perfectly. Maybe I would like even a bigger tire just to, you know, see how it goes in the future, but even with this one, I truly like how it fits and sits on the S22. This Michelin motorcycle tire is definitely a lot more robust and thicker than what we get with the usual CSTs and Candas that we get on wheels. And this leads to a couple of things. Well, first of all, the ride is a bit stiffer. Like all of the smaller imperfections on the road, you will feel them more, especially at a similar pressure, which you would have on a off-road tire. But the compound and the profile definitely makes it just so much more sporty and so much more, I don't know, agile and playful. And here in the video you'll see me mostly riding at a bit higher speeds, and there it performs, I think, exceptionally well. But also at lower speeds you will feel a big improvement to the off-road tire, just making your turning radius a bit smaller and making scraping your foot blades a lot more challenging and difficult, which is great. And as I was riding this wheel on the street tire more and more, it became apparent to me that pretty much the only limitation I have is the fact that the foot blades are very flat and the spikes aren't that grippy. So if I just had some more solid foot blades, like for example Nilonove with good MTB spikes and angle adjustment, I could definitely do a lot more on this wheel, because now I was just afraid to slip at some point, which is actually possible. But what happens if you encounter off-road? And actually, it's not that bad with street tires at all, especially if there's no sand or mud involved. On usual trails like you can see here in the woods, the tire has tons of grip and it doesn't even slip much when I'm climbing some inclines. The biggest problem with grip and, you know, street tires off-road happens if there's mud or sand, and then the wheel can slip to the side, or you can just like fall because you lose balance. Well, because of the slippage. But in usual scenarios, if you're just, you know, traveling through some woods, if you have some trails, paths, which aren't asphalt or, you know, concrete, a street tire will perform really well, and sometimes maybe even better than a off-road tire, because you won't have to tilt the wheel that much in order to turn a bit more sharply. Additionally, we also did some work on the suspension slider mechanism and put some PTFE spray there, and it did help a bit with the suspension. I still think that the middle setting, because at this point I tried every single one of them out, is the best one, especially for my weight, which is 80 kilograms with gear, but it's still not as comfy as the Begode Master or the EX20S. But both of those wheels are amazing. Would you like to see a comparison video between those two? Leave a like, and let's go to 2,000 likes to make it happen. Alright, but let's talk now about the Samsung 40T battery pack that is now installed on the Kingsong S22. And I gotta say that there's definitely a difference when riding on high discharge cells as opposed to high capacity cells, but maybe not as I entirely expected. First of all, I also did a range test on the wheel, and the range turned out to be 7 kilometers less than on the high capacity pack. So your mileage, pun intended, may vary, but I think it will be within 5 or 10% of a difference, more leaning towards 5, and maybe even if you're constantly pushing the wheel, you might even get more range out of the high discharge cells than the high capacity cells. The most notable change that I felt with this high discharge pack is the speed that I'm allowed to go at lower battery levels. So even at, I don't know, 30, 40, 50% battery, I didn't hear many beeps when even going 50 or 60 kilometers an hour. And at a bit higher battery states, going 70, yes, still no beeps, while on the LG pack I did get them, and I also was getting a tilt pack, I think earlier. At least that's my experience that I had after riding on this pack for, I don't know, 150 kilometers. Another benefit, just as my opinion, but this might be also due to the tire change that I made at the exact same time when changing the batteries, is that the ride just felt a bit more effortless. I felt like I don't need to push as hard anymore to maintain my speed and ride on the EUC. So those were definitely some bonuses. What did not change, however, and this was my surprise, is the torque on this wheel. So when pushing this wheel harder, at higher speeds, at lower speeds, I didn't really feel any notable difference or improvement. Still, on 40-degree hills, it had some struggles. And in the other off-road scenarios that were shown in my mini review or the review, it was still struggling. So the power didn't necessarily increase. It's just like easier to access it, I would say, and more effortless to ride. But for sure there is more headroom in the top speed department, especially at lower battery levels. So to conclude it all, what do I think about those two changes? Well, first of all, about the tire, I think that this wheel should be either available with two tire options, or it should come with a street tire as stock, because it's just so much more fun to ride. And I think that for, getting to work, getting off of work, it just does the job better and fulfills the nimbleness and like the pleasure of riding of a EUC a bit better. Maybe a off-road tire is just a bit more, stable and predictable, but I think that the trade-offs are bigger than the benefits of a street tire. When it comes to the high discharge cells, I've been advocating for those types of cells in EUCs almost for years now, and I think that those Samsung 40Ts in particular are great for electric unicycles due to their low inner resistance. Lower inner resistance means less sag, means more performance, and with performance wheels, I think they just should be the only option. Fun fact, those Samsung 40Ts actually have less inner resistance than the Molicel P42A. So yeah, if there is an option, Samsung 40T, at least in my opinion, is the way to go. I think that the range won't be that big of a difference, but the performance is better. I think that the longevity will be better, and in some cases when, just riding off-road all the time, heavy abuse and use, they might actually have a bit more range than the LG M50 LTs. Alright, so with that said, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in a week. Probably with a bit. Or maybe in a week. See you soon.